Hello and welcome. This is a chat I like to do for the Austin area. Austin area crypto talks. The reason why I want to get on this screen in front of you is because we're having an influx of crypto capabilities these years, and a lot of people have been led the wrong way. They've been told things or led to believe things. Because it's in finance, there's a lot to be gained by tricking people. Because it's in finance, there's a lot to be gained by navigating well. And so I want to encourage you to get into cryptocurrency, recognize where the value is, and gain an understanding of the true point of crypto and the what validates it, a true foundation. Don't be discouraged, be focused, because we're here at the beginning of something. And you may not have validation from the people around you, but there's a lot of people out there on the internet who are gaining in their life because of cryptocurrency. They are aware of changes in the world. And if it is that you've been listening to your news, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to give you some story, some narrative to make sure that you're dependent on them tomorrow. And they collude. There's actually a conspiracy. They're helping out everyone else by keeping you in a box. So they constantly talk about Bitcoin being bad, but yet Bitcoin continues to be talked about. So what's up with that? Have you ever dug into that? What's going on? So the deal with Bitcoin is it was the first cryptocurrency that was complete. It did have bugs, but yet it was complete, and it found a market price today of over $40,000. This gained from it being pennies and you being able to conduct some work on your home computer in order to be paid in Bitcoin. Nowadays, it's just gotten more complex, but the code hasn't gotten more complex. And inside the sphere of cryptocurrencies, a lot of people have created products that have no value, and people don't recognize things that don't have value when it is that other people continue to put money towards it. And that's what's kept propping up some valueless, some things that would be brain farts if you could actually see them for what they are, if you could see them very clearly. Let me light the candle. It's a green candle. It's a short one, but it's a green one for price go up. In cryptocurrency, I am a lucky person. I found somebody who influenced me, who taught me. This person was teaching multiple other people at the same time via live streams. And I was searching for somebody to make sense of the crypto space for a while, and it's really hard to find because it's a newer space. There are these eclectic people who are out on their computers who don't want to be in front of the screen, who don't want to be in front of a camera, which is a good way to influence people. And so finally, someone who is very wealthy in crypto, who I'm talking about, influenced me. Finally, I found that person. And I love telling the story of how I found them. I was allowing my computer to just run multiple YouTube, one after the other, YouTube videos back in 2017. It was December 2017. And Bitcoin was rising up. And there towards the end of 2017, it finally reached a peak. And I was witnessing this, and I was wondering why it was that it didn't continue to climb. And I was here in my front room, which I call my studio, and I had a canvas taped up here on the wall, and I was projecting from my computer onto that canvas something that I had photoshopped because I was doing a painting, a commission painting for somebody, and it was the easiest way to Photoshop some stuff and put it up there so I could have some guidelines. It wasn't that big of a piece, but I was standing here for at least off and on 6 hours. And the computer, because it was on auto run, it played whatever it was that it wanted to pitch towards me. And one of those things was a stream by a guy named Richard Hart. That's his screen name, Richard Hart. Now, he's been wealthy multiple times in different entrepreneur scenarios. And so he does hold Bitcoin, but he came out and told everybody that Bitcoin was dead. When he said Bitcoin was dead at the end of 2017, that was a whole new perspective. Everybody wants to tell you Bitcoin to the moon, as they say, Bitcoin to outer space. Like that stuff's going to rocket. And because he had this difference in opinion, and because he had information that I never have heard to back it up, then I started listening to him. I said, wow, this is an outlier. I need to pay attention to this. I need to put this information on the shelf and come back to it very soon. Let's figure out the next time that guy has a live stream. Let's subscribe to his YouTube. So I invite you, subscribe to his YouTube. It's Richard Hart on YouTube, and on Twitter you could find him at Richard Hart Win. Win, WIN at the end. And then on Telegram, if you have the Telegram app, let's go ahead and go straight to that. A great resource is Richard's Calls on Telegram app. And there he will post all sorts of updates on what it is that he's doing. And he's doing a lot. He's very active in crypto. And he knows how to get things done now. He's considered the bad boy of crypto, but yet he's the cleaner upper. he's going in and cleaning shit up. He's making crypto what it's meant to be. When it is that you create a crypto, should you have inflation? Should you have interest earning capabilities? Richard Hart says yes. And so he's created an amazing product that's out and about. You can buy it now. It's called Hex. And you can find information at hex.com. That's the main website. So let me dare to pull up my screen here. All right. I wish it was not this size ratio, but something close to that. Like, I wish I could do something more with my screen. Okay. So Hex.com says Hex stakers average 38% returns a year. Now, Hex stakers. What are stakers? Those are the people who buy Hex token and then do without that Hex token. They lock it up. They say, hey, I want to earn interest on Hex token. If you chose not to stake your Hex tokens, you could just hold them. And if the price appreciates, then awesome. You have now gained value while holding the Hex token. But if you stake it, you'll be guaranteed more Hex token, meaning you'll have your principal, you'll stake that principal, and you'll get back basically an equivalent that you're used to as called interest from banking situations, right? So we like to call it yield, but we can call it interest here. And that is Hex token right there. What is Hex token? That's Hex token. There's a lot of complicated things that have to happen in order to bring you this banking system that could be in your back pocket. You don't have to ask anybody for permission to do anything. It's just you and the contract, or it's you and the computers that check the volumes. So whenever it is that you send Hex token from one wallet to another wallet, it's a bunch of computers out there on the internet that are making sure that there's no double spend, making sure that it left your wallet and it's at the next wallet. That's what we pay fees for, to make sure that these computers stay running and the network is up and available. So when you stake, you have to operate functions with that network. And when you unstake, you have to operate functions with that network. But it is just you and the contract that are interacting. And whenever I say contract, this is computer code. This stuff has to sit somewhere, right? So inside of a blockchain, the Hex contract sits, and it's fused into that. The computers that create the network from then on uphold this contract if you choose to interact with it, if you pay to interact with it. And whenever you pay to interact with it, whenever you're charged fees by this network of computers, it's only a fraction of the money, the value that you're moving around. So don't think that it's going to charge you out the wazoo. It tells you how much it's going to charge you before it charges you that. You have to okay it. So if I want to send $100 to a friend and it costs me $3, I have to a dialog box pops up and asks me, "Are you sure you want to do this? You're about to do this action, and it's going to cost you $3 at this moment." It could cost you $4 an hour from now. It could cost you 50 cents 6 hours from now. But you chose to do it right now while there's a while there's an amount of traffic already going on the network. So we're going to charge you this based on what's happening. Let's see. Let me do something real fast. I thought of some other web pages that I want to visit. Okay. So last week we had a get together just like this. And let's see what happened. Someone at the get together said, "Hey, have you seen this tab here at more?" And then, oh, I got to share my screen. So I'm here at hex.com, and up at the top, there's a few tabs. You can go to more, and then you can go to links. And I did not realize that all of the all of these links are really nice links. There's Hexagon YouTube channels. These are people that are Hex people in creating a community online. So all of these people are trusted streamers. And then the multiple languages. Telegram app. In case you have that, here's multiple chat rooms. This information topic would be like statistics analysis. Charts would be charts and nice graphical content. Exchanges, these are places where you could acquire Hex token, because Hex token is at a limited amount of places. And also, whenever you're looking for information about Hex token, it's only on limited amounts of market cap websites that show you a broad amount of things, that a broad amount of coins, let's say, because people know that there's multiple cryptocurrencies, right? Some people recognize that there's over 1,000 cryptocurrencies that you could acquire, but what value do they have? And are people who are supposed to be leaders in the space, are they really leaders in the space with their market cap websites, with their websites that show a general understanding of each coin? Are those honorable people? Often they have not been. So, like I say, Hex token is cleaning up crypto, and someone wouldn't want that if it is that they're making tons of money off of a bunch of confusing uh, coins that have no purpose. So it's like a parade is happening, and then you're starting to see like all of these turnoffs in the parade, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to be a part of this. I need to find my clique within this crowd. That's what's happening right now with crypto. A lot of people are blind to the good things that are happening in crypto, and they're running off with the bad. And that's the reason why I created this talk, because I saw a lot of people getting advantage taken of them. I saw a lot of people asking questions and they weren't getting a full answer. Instead, they were only getting a partial answer that then made it to where they couldn't decide to just sever their time and go elsewhere. Instead, they stayed around. And I bet they got involved. I bet they put $5 to $500 into multiple things that would not generate a return at all. And instead, it was kind of like just their attempt at crypto. And so they told themselves, they pat themselves on the back. They tried. And they wasted a little bit of their time trying to find answers from this person. And it could have been that it's a complete turnoff from then on. And that's what we don't want in the Hex token community. We call ourselves Hexicans. We don't want you to get turned off. We want you to recognize that we have something of value. And if you haven't been following closely, that thing of value is, it works exactly like a time deposit, like a certificate of deposit that you would get at the bank. It's where you have guaranteed interest on what it is that you're entering. So when you interact with a contract, you're entering a time deposit when you stake. If it is that you go to YouTube and you search Richard Hart interview or interview Richard Hart, this very first video I highly suggest. It's got turquoise in the background, turquoise and yellow color scheme on its thumbnail. Check that out. This could light your fire. That could, boom, get you right where you want to be, learning more. Like we're able to get distractions and go forward and feel better about ourselves. So this one right here, totally for Link Up TV. You don't have to watch it. The visuals, you don't need them. So you could just listen to this like a podcast. In fact, I might make a QR code for this and start handing it out. It's so good because it allows you to see that the people that are behind crypto, they're normal people. Some of them are eclectic geniuses, and they have their capabilities of bettering the world with their products. And so this does a really good job of bringing Richard Hart into the light of, you can relate to me. I'm not so different. And we all have been on our computers all our lives, really, right? Like, I got a computer in my household when I was like in sixth grade or something like that. And uh, I got a computer in my bedroom when I was a sophomore in high school. So I had plenty of computers before I went off to college, and ever since college, I've had at least a laptop. Um, and so we're all used to it. We are used to doing things ourselves, getting information that we need via the internet. we're used to surfing. And so what this does is it puts finances on your computer, on your browser, a code that you could keep in your head, and you're able to erase it from your browser. Every time you can type it into your browser, make it populate so that you can do things on it, and then you can delete it. And you can keep everything in your head, store it on a piece of paper, store it engraved in some metal, put it in a lockbox. You can do all these sorts of things, but just recognize that it's code. The only thing that's stopping anybody else from getting it, from being able to move it around out of your wallet, steal from you, the only thing that's keeping them from doing it are digits, is crazy digits they can't figure out. It would be easier for them to steal it from you than to run a computer for years and years and years and years and try to hack you. Okay. Going forward, Richard Hart has richardhart.com. I'm going to check my Telegram messages, make sure that no one's trying to get a hold of me. I think it was Telegram, Twitter. What's happening on Twitter? There's something for me to like on Twitter. Some crypto communities, they can navigate from one social media to another. Whenever they get big enough, then they sort of like consume multiple social medias at a time. I highly advise you attempt to come into our community and join in whatever way you feel is appropriate for you at the time. There's so many people who just stay in the woodwork and don't show their face or don't interact. There are other people who interact, but they've got an avatar that covers their face. There are other people who are very, very active, and they still don't show their face. And then there are other people who are just fine showing their face, and interact quite a bit. And maybe they seek being a figurehead, a motivational person, an influencer, if you will. And whenever cryptocurrencies get popular, then you'll have an influx of people attempting to be the influencers. So be aware of that. But there are all different ways of obtaining information, right? Or there are all different ways of learning, right? So I highly advise become a part of our community and figure out what tools are best for you to learn. You could go to the Telegram app chat where you could search for hex.com. You could find this chat room of like 60,000 people or something. Now, don't tell people that you're new, and continue to keep chat public instead of going off on private messages where somebody could tell you some wrong information and it wouldn't be double checked or triple checked by people in the main public chat. There's this other chat room called pulsechain.com. You could go to that chat room on the Telegram app and you could click on the voice chat, and you could be a part of a live conversation using voice. So maybe that would benefit you. Maybe it is that you wouldn't want to actually chat and you would just like to listen to these people talking. Well, over on YouTube, you could just search Pulse Radio app. That's Pulse radio app. And there you'll just hear all the conversation recorded and put up on YouTube live. And so it's just like a podcast where you can't put your input, but yet multiple people are having a conversation and you're hearing everything. So it's like you're the third person on an intellectual conversation on using jargon on the topic that you're most interested in learning. And that is Hex in crypto. So we're about 30 minutes in, and I want to go to the next tab. Streaming sometimes can confuse you. Multiple different tabs, windows, all that stuff. All right, so we're going to the next tab, which is Coinbase. Coinbase is a website, a huge growing company that is like a bank that holds both fiat US dollars and cryptocurrencies. It holds both of them, and it has you create an account with them. And what you're able to do is you're able to connect your bank account and easily turn US dollars from your bank account into cryptocurrency on Coinbase. And then what I want you to do with that cryptocurrency on Coinbase that sits in your account, I want you to send it out to your browser. I want you to have a wallet on your browser, and you would send that value. Say you did $100 from Coinbase. Let's see, from your bank account, you would send Coinbase $100, and then you would change that $100 into cryptocurrency, and you would send it out to your browser. And there are cryptocurrencies where they're pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar ratio wise. So you're not losing any value if you hold this USD token, which I'll call USDC. USDC would be a crypto that is 1-to-1 with the US dollar. How does it keep its stability? That is to be argued. With every separate stable coin, there is an argument of like, how the heck are you able to keep this 1-to-1 with the US dollar? And I will leave that rabbit hole there and move on to the next thing. Metamask. Metamask wallet is the wallet that you would attach to your browser. So you click download, and then I recommend Chrome, as I've got my cursor on it, and install MetaMask for Chrome down here. So it's the big round buttons that you can press on this website. This is metamask.io. Once again, this wallet will sit inside your browser, and then it'll give you what are called keys. That's the code to open up the wallet. And so you just store those off to the side of your computer and decide how you're going to protect those going forward. Are you going to engrave them into metal? Are you going to lock something up in a lockbox? Are you going to code it into paintings that are in your living room? Are you going to share half of it with your friend and half of it with your family member? so that it takes two in order to come together and open it up again. So the next tab is hexstreamers.com. This is a wonderful TV guide sort of layout for everybody who creates hex content. If you're not on this and you create hex content, then you can easily contact these folks and they will add you. There's a great guy behind this website. And as you can see, there's tons of hex content. Now, these are listed chronological order since they were created. And then these are upcoming. And it tells you over here on the right side how long until it goes live. So this guy, Matty Allen, Hex Therapy Live, this retired therapist who is a leader in our community, of the Hexicans, he goes live in 54 minutes. And then these are the people who have just gone live. And how long ago did they go live? And this is a group that I'm in, the Hex Foodies. We were live 5 hours ago. This guy right here, Crypto Heartbeat, he also lives in Texas. He lives just north of me. So it's a big world and it's a small world out there. Just get involved. Start making yourself, start building a nice bag of wealth over there in cryptocurrency, and continue to find out that there are other people who are just as passionate in certain things in life, that are out there doing the same thing as well. They just don't know how to connect with you on this subject because we're talking about finance. Finance has been poo-pooed to talk about in public. You don't supposedly, it's taboo to ask people how much they make in a year. What has ever gotten between families? The main thing that's ever gotten between families is money. Money separates blood. Isn't that weird? Very powerful people recognize the power of money. And we, the populace, are now recognizing the power of money. And we're taking it back. So what is Hex Token? It's a store of value and a system that is truthful. And we can all see this code. It's transparent. People's wallets and people connected to those wallets stays anonymous unless you go and say, hey, I own this wallet. So everything stays anonymous, but you're able to see all the actions that happen. So the Hex contract is a truth engine that allows you to submit value and earn a yield on that value over a course of time. And in case you're wondering about, can you end your stake earlier than, like, whenever it is that you decide that you're going to stake with Hex token, you are to decide for yourself how many Hex tokens and how long in amount of days are you going to submit your Hex tokens. In scams in the past, they wouldn't allow you to decide how long, and they also wouldn't allow you to end early. But in Hex token, because it's not a scam, because everything is one end is wrapped into the other, there are no loose ends. Everything is complete. Because of that, it allows you to in-stake early. But when you in-stake early, you will derive a penalty, most likely. So if price appreciation on each of your Hex tokens had gone way, way up, then maybe you're not concerned about that penalty, and maybe you do want to in-stake. It's all left up to the situation, and some very smart people created this very complex situation to get involved in. And so what brings it its value is its users. And so I like to call cryptocurrencies social currencies. We have graduated from nation state currencies. We can now recognize the value in our connections differently than just nations mandating currency to us. The next tab I have is hexnoob.com. So it's meant for newbies to Hex. So that's hexnoob.com. And it has multiple links for you to follow whenever it is that you're getting into Hex and you're wanting to check this, check that. So the graphs that were mentioned earlier, the Metamask wallet that was mentioned earlier, here's another wallet that it was created by the Hex community, and it's an all-in-one. You could download this to your cell phone. I told you that you pay the network to get things done. And when you do that, it's called gas. And so here's a gas calculator of all things. So like when it is, I gave the example of sending $100 and being charged $3 to get that $100 out. That's what I mean by gas. Here's some exchanges where you can acquire Hex token. Just like I showed you before. Here's a current price with a market cap. The market cap is 68.1 or 68.2 billion dollars. Oh, there's a little video tutorials up in the top right. That looks interesting. So yeah, I just encourage you to dive in. Hex Daily Stats. This is a place where every day there's a start and a stop to the day in order for us to keep track of how much interest you've accrued. So when you stake your token, it goes active at a certain time of the day. And then whenever your stake becomes due, it becomes due at that certain time of day again. So because there's a start and a stop, we have these capabilities of reading data. Here you can see this says T-share. T-share is a way that we calculate interest. And so T represents trillion. So you could just forget about that T, right? And look at it as shares. Certain amount of shares gets you a certain amount of yield per day. So if you had 100 T shares, then we would just look right here at the T-share payout. And it says that it's 6.13 hex was today's T-share payout. So that means if you had 100 T-shares, then you would have 600 hex for today. Now, where do you receive that 600 hex today? Where do you receive it? It's put into your interest column. As you're watching your stake, you see your principal there, and the interest column just continues to grow and grow and grow. And then later on, you end stake. And when you end stake, then you get your interest plus your principal into your wallet. So there's no funny stuff happening here. It's all code. It all makes sense. So when you stake Hex tokens, you earn Hex tokens. And if you want to start trying to figure out, well, what does that mean for me with US dollars? You need to bring those Hex tokens, or that idea of bringing those Hex tokens to the open market and saying, hey, market, how much will you pay me for these? So you either sell back to you basically sell back to the exchanges that I showed you earlier. Oops. Here's a few of them, right? Matcha.xyz, 1inch.io, ethhex.com. Felt like I had just one more thing to say. Oh, the title of this video is Copy Your NFTs. So notice I didn't talk about NFTs at all. The reason why I mentioned copy your NFTs is because Richard Hart is creating a new blockchain. And that blockchain is called Pulse Chain. When it is that he creates Pulse Chain, it's going to be a copy of the Ethereum blockchain. When Pulse Chain goes live, everyone who has NFTs on Ethereum is going to get a copy of those on Pulse Chain. Why is it that that's possible? Because this is all code. Why is it that Richard Hart has the capabilities of duplicating somebody's assets? It's because he's copying the asset from its native, where it's native right now. He's copying the whole thing. So it's not that he has rights to it, it's that you have rights to it on the new blockchain at the new place. So some people have tried to make the analogy of like, you've got your house right now, but we're gonna identify, we're gonna copy all of your architecture there at your house, and over here on this new island that's quicker, faster, better. We're going to build your house over there, and we're going to give you the keys to it. Or you've already got the keys. We don't even know the keys. So all you have to do is just visit this place and use it and have fun. That's what it is. Now, people who think about like acquiring as much wealth, like what games can I play and stuff, those people will start thinking about, oh, well, what's the value of the old one going to be? What's the value of the new one going to be? What other things are created near the new one? Maybe I could buy out my neighbor's house if my neighbor's not so interested in it. Maybe certain neighborhoods over here in my existing neighborhood, or my old neighborhood, maybe some of those will go dormant, and maybe I can buy those guys out. And then the tides will change and it'll go up in value and I could make a lot from it. So there's all sorts of ideas of what you could do with this. But a lot of long-term holders like myself will just take it as a gift. We'll hold on to it. Our eyes won't get big. And we won't be quick to move our values around or trade values. Something that Richard Hart says, and a lot of us Hexicans have adopted, is the only people who make money in crypto are founders and holders. Founders of a cryptocurrency and holders of cryptocurrency. Try to be one of those. And that's it. That's it. That's as far as I'm going to go tonight. Please follow through or follow up with some information. Put it in your ears. So Richard Hart's interview for introductions. If you want to gain jargon, check out the Pulse Radio app on YouTube. Ask other people to look at hex.com. There's a huge community out here on Twitter, especially. Richard Hart bought a huge diamond, basically free publicity. And then a bunch of Hexicans pooled their money together and sponsored a race car, which was over $500,000. So this is JJ Yeely. And that the first race was meant to be the Daytona 500. And I believe we sponsored a few more after that. But yeah, it's a great community to be a part of. A lot of people have brain farts when it comes to cryptocurrency. And this cryptocurrency is cleaning up everything and not allowing brain farts to exist. I hope you will consider joining me next week. This is happening at 6 p.m. Tuesdays Central Time. So I thank you for joining me. Go to hex.com.